Hello, and welcome to the first ever College Confidential podcast. My name is John Oswald, and I'm the video and multimedia producer on the CC team. And I just have to say that I'm so excited to kick this off. Hopefully this is the first episode of many episodes to come. We have a lot of really engaging content that we plan to share out with you all, but we'll get to more of that later. First, I want to share something with you that is very exciting, and that is a change that we have made to the College Confidential forums experience. So if you're here, you probably use the CC forums at least a bit. So we wanted to give you a chance to learn more about some of those changes and new features that we've made to that experience. CC Forum sees about 20 million visitors a year, and that primarily includes college aspiring high school students and their families. So a lot of folks, including you probably. And we know that forums drive so much of the conversation about the college going process, and a change there is a pretty big deal for the site. So today we have an interview with somebody who has been behind the scenes on improving that experience. And his name is Jon Ericson. I hope you enjoy the interview and the conversation. We have a very special guest today. I work with him. He has the same name as me, makes it extra special, spelled the same way, no H in there, Jon. Really excited to talk to him today. Jon Ericson, the Community Product and Operations Manager for College Confidential. Here to learn more about the work that we've all done here at College Confidential to transition the forum experience to a new system called Discourse. Jon, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. It's exciting to be part of this podcast.
Well, thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind, maybe you could just introduce yourself and just let the listeners know how long you've worked for College Confidential.
Sure. So I joined College Confidential at the beginning of the year. And before that, I was a community manager at Stack Overflow and Stack Exchange, which are big question and answer sites. But I left that and came to College Confidential, and I've been getting to know the community and the system and the way everything operates. And that's been my job for the last, almost 11 months now.
That's awesome. Thanks for that. So why should users be excited about the new forums that you're talking about?
Well, so the number one thing is when you log in, you can immediately see a list of all the categories of discussion. And we have many, because we've got one for every, for many of the bigger schools. And we have all sorts of niche categories that I didn't even know about. Like there's a category for how to get into school via athletics, and international transfer students, and you name it. If it's related to college admissions, there is a place for you to discuss that. And I didn't even know those existed until we really started digging into it. The new form is faster. It's so much faster to load. On my phone, I would go to the old one and I'd tap on it to see what was going on in the community, and I'd wait. And I'd go grab a coffee, and it wasn't quite that long, but it would seem like it was taking forever. And the new one just sort of pops up. Those are those are the big ones for me. And then there's a lot of other quality of life features that I think might take some getting used to, but are really well designed and well thought out in the new platform.
Wow. That sounds really exciting, actually. I mean, faster is better right now. Nobody wants to be sitting around waiting for something to load. What are some of the new features in Discourse, if you wouldn't mind talking about those?
Sure. It's hard where to start, right? One of my favorites is you can control your notifications. There was some of that in the old form, but the new form has a lot of fine-grained notifications. If there is someone that you always want to see their posts, you can increase the notifications so you get more of their posts. If there's someone you just don't want to hear from, you can ignore them. If there's a topic you care about and you want to see, so like my son is going into, he's considering going to CSUN, Cal State Northridge, and I can go in and I can say, I want to see every new topic that comes in on Cal State Northridge. Or if I decide, I don't want to read about these topics in some other school, which I won't name because that would be mean, I could just eliminate it, so I don't even see those new topics coming up at all. So that's just one feature, right? I mean, it's a tiny one, but it's potentially huge and changes the way people interact with the site. Um, I could go on. I don't know if you want to hear about the editor, which is amazing.
We got all day. Let's hear them. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
exciting.
the editor is awesome because it's got more features so that you can control the way your post looks. You can control how what person you're replying to. You can select part of a post and have that appear as a quote in the editor. Um, it's a nicer format for editing because you can see the real life what it looks like on one side. You don't have to click a button to flip back and forth. The coding, if you're used to BB code, you can use that. If you want to use Markdown, which is another way of formatting, you can use that. If you just want to use the buttons, there's buttons that do all that formatting for you. You don't have to go hunting around for the codes. Um, so the editor is great. Um, I actually like the way that all of the thread is put on one page. So in the past, you would have to flip from one page to another. And I know people like that, but when I'm reading a post, I don't want to have to think about what page am I on, going to the next page. Uh, it, if you go away from the thread and come back, it'll automatically scroll down to where you left off. Um, it's a really big improvement. I have to say, I showed it off to some former colleagues and said, "Well, this is what it used to look like, and this is what it looks like now." And it's just more modern. People notice that it looks more modern. It's more, um, it has features that are you expect from a modern website. Um, yeah, so I'll I'll try to think of some more things. It's almost too much to sort out. It's a major change in terms of how it looks and feels and how it operates underneath.
Wow. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all that. I mean, that sounds super exciting, super user friendly. I can understand why the audience should be excited about the new features like you're talking about.
There's another one that people won't see, but they will notice the effect later, which is the moderator features are completely different and better. I know a lot of people have been concerned because moderators have had to step in and close off topics that were running, getting a little wild, a little crazy, and they have new abilities to limit people who are causing problems. So basically, in the old system, if you wanted to stop someone who was causing a problem on the site, you could ban them forever. That was your option. And the new feature allows moderators to say, just you need to take an afternoon off, and you can just tell that user you're not going to be able to participate this afternoon. You can come back tomorrow when you've had a good night's rest and maybe walk around the park, around the block, maybe um, something to eat. I don't know. We all have these days where things go wrong, and so the new moderator features will just be so much more civil and usable for the moderators, so they don't have to feel like this person is causing problems. My choice is let them continue or ban them forever. There's a lot more nuance. I think users will appreciate that. They won't necessarily know what's changed, but I think you will start seeing improvement in the quality of the content and the discussions that we're having.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds beneficial, especially, for a year like 2020. I think that will be useful. So thanks for going through all that, John. So when users first log into Discourse, what is the first thing that you would encourage them to do?
I think the first thing I would encourage them to do is to start reading some of the threads that they've seen on Vanilla on the previous version of the site, and just get a feel for how it looks and how it's a little bit different. Uh, and then I think I'd encourage them to play around with their notifications. Like, just try it out, see what it's like when you update your notifications to get more of what you want and less of what you don't, when it comes to topics, especially. And then and then just start using it the way you normally would. I think I've gone through so many of these changes, both as a user and as a community manager. And what I've discovered is that there is always a week, like 7 days or 5 business days or whatever of struggle. Like, this isn't working the way it used to. Something's different. And then the things that are real problems might stay, but almost everything else will sort of slip away. And after a month, you'll have forgotten that it was even there. And I know that doesn't feel that way when you first log in, but I just encourage people to try it out. Just give it a chance for a week. And if you still have problems after a week, we're open for feedback, and we can, like I said before, we can change things that aren't working. But I just encourage people to try it out. Type a post, make a reply, like something, all those sorts of things, and see what's working and how it functions.
Yeah, get on in there, like you said. Let's get this going. It sounds like a lot of exciting new features and things to explore. So thank you so much for sharing all of that. I mean, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to share about the transition to Discourse? And anything to tie up our conversation here?
Yeah, I've been looking at this for as long as I've been working here. I've been excited about the possibility of changing to a new platform. And it's something I want to do right away, but we sat down and we thought about it. And we went through all of the scenarios. We did all the different variations, the different options. We can change the way that we host. We can keep on the same platform. We can roll to a different platform. All the permutations and options, and this turned out to be the one that we think works best, not just for us as a company, but we honestly think it works best for the community as well. Like I said before, it's a foundation for another 10 years, and so it's not something we did on a whim. It's not something we did at the snap of a finger. It actually took a long time from when we started thinking about it to when it started moving. And then we've spent a long time talking to users, like getting them on one-on-one calls, posting on the forums, spending time trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, and using that feedback to update things as we go along. So I just want to encourage people that this is something we didn't do lightly. This is something we worked hard to make sure we did it the right way. And we'll make mistakes, but the promise is that we will continue to do what's right and make the site work better for everybody, for us, for the community, for everyone who's involved with it.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Jon. I'm really excited about these new features. I'm going to get in those forums. I'm going to start creating some posts, check out the new just features and just splashiness that you're talking about. I mean, it just sounds awesome. So thank you again.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here. I'm really excited that we're able to talk about Discourse and the future of College Confidential.
Thanks again to Jon Ericson, and thank you to you all for listening. In future episodes, we'd love to cover topics that matter most to you, so please let us know what you think. Feel free to leave your comments and questions in the new College Confidential forums experience, or leave your comments on our College Confidential social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever suits you best. We'll see you next time.